Welcome everybody to the DC New 52 review. I want to thank you for tuning into this episode. I am your host, Pauly DC, and let's get into another one of these things. Today, I will discuss Voodoo Volume 1. It was titled What Lies Beneath, and it was written by Marz and Josh Williamson with art by Sami, Basri, and issues 1 to 6 were released between November 2011 to April 2012. Priscilla Keaton, or Voodoo, was created by Brandon Choi and Jim Lee in Wildcats number 1, August 1992, under the Wildstorm imprint, alongside a slew of other characters from that universe, some of which made it into the New 52 while others did not due to Wildstorm's cancellation in 2010. Priscilla is a hybrid Daemonite alien, a species that appeared all over from Superman to Stormwatch, and she's got a bunch of powers, including telepathy, shapeshifting, even voodoo magic, naturally. The only ever time Miss Keaton had a solo title was a 4-part story in 1997 written by Alan Moore of all people, which definitely means we need to see what her second adventure held. Issue number 1 begins in rather titillating manner with our main character working undercover as an exotic dancer in New Orleans, which is a part of her original origin, and if you be mature or not so serious, you'll remember that people do these things daily. It's not a negative portrayal if it's a normal thing. Anyway, tonight is a little different though, since Voodoo is being watched by two agent partners, Tyler Evans and a favorite original creation for me, Jessica Fallon, who angrily leaves the bar when Evans seems a bit too aroused by their target's performance. He's then chatted up about Voodoo, being told she's not like the other girls by another waitress while she serves him drinks with a view. Fallon is next seen on the street running into a couple mugger goons, so before she beats the shit out of them without the cigarette she just put in her mouth even leaving it, we see a black Razors logo on her lighter, which is part of her background and a group that was seen here and there in the New 52. Back to Priscilla in the club's dressing room. You can tell she's hiding many secrets, speaking with her cohorts while we're given some amazing and alluring artwork before Agent Evans asks for a private dance from you-know-who, which she agrees to, and oh boy, do things get freaky quickly. No, not like that. Settle down. It's just revealed that Voodoo is at this particular joint because it's close to a military base nearby, and she telepathically takes government info from the soldiers. So when she reads Tyler's mind now, she finds out that he has plans to dissect and operate on her due to knowing she's not human. Wait a second. So you knew she was an alien, but you still took a strip-tease dance from her? Yeah, there's your freaky part right there. Oh my. Voodoo isn't too keen on suggestions of surrender though, and goes full on Daemonite on Evans, tearing him apart and then assuming his identity. What did he think was gonna happen here? Why on earth would he believe that was a smart plan? What was the plan if she said no? Not a great one, obviously. Man, I don't know and I don't care. Oh, Fallon was also briefly seen calling him in a motel to apologize for leaving him behind. Too late. Issue number 2. It starts with Jessica sleeping with Tyler quite enjoyably, it seems. Then the two get into a little pillow talk about Voodoo, except Tyler is friggin' Voodoo in disguise, and wow, that is something. Especially considering that Voodoo could have peeked into her mind telepathically back at the club, meaning Priscilla is just a horny alien. Proven even further when Fallon lights up a cigarette and invites Voodoo Tyler back for seconds, which is gladly accepted. Priscilla then slips into the bathroom next about a minute before Jessica gets a call while almost looking high in this scene, and she's told about the real Evan's fate, causing her to storm into the washroom, which is empty by now. Fallon then immediately goes to see her dead partner, not seeming overly disturbed that she just got molested by an alien, but this does cause her to call in the Black Razors, who briskly close in on Voodoo, trying to tranquilize her in their Xbox button-inspired helmets, which brings out Miss Damonite. A slightly confusing character is also introduced in this series here, and I say that because he's called Blackjack, which has been used many times in DC, but in other series he's known as Major Force with a slightly changed design. Regardless, his name is Michael Bolton, and he allows Fallon to pursue Voodoo inside some derelict building she was chased into. However, once upon the interior, a fistfight breaks out between the two ladies due to Priscilla only being able to use her powers so heavily. She's still able to get one over on Jess here sneaking outside, and since Blackjack is unaware of Voodoo's telepath powers, he is fooled by her disguised as Fallon uttering their safety word agreed upon 2 minutes ago. On the last page though, Voodoo looks to be starting a travel journey, but also is in the sights of Green Lantern Kyle Rayner. Issue number 3 kicks off with Voodoo hitchhiking the highways, eventually getting picked up by a trucker, and in extremely usual fashion, the guy tries to hit on her, resulting in his demise. At least he conveniently waited until almost at her wanted destination to do so. That location is the mechanic shop of Skinny, who's a rather rotund oaf, seen with his duo of Daisy Duke country gals, and it's quickly learned that these three are hybrid aliens as well, like Voodoo, who mentions her extraterrestrial tech and saying that she only needs seconds of contact to replicate things, with it also being said that these things are half alien, half human. So there's that. Alongside mention of them all working for the War Council. Lots of questions and answers are presented, basically. The meeting is abruptly interrupted though by GL Kyle Rayner blasting on the scene, but if you were reading Green Lantern New Guardians, you'll know that Rayner making this appearance don't add up considering he was quite busy in space until later issues. Anyhow, Skinny and the two girls go on to show their saber-tooth sloth and blue tentacle-haired alien forms, who are then fought off long enough for Kyle to snag Priscilla to have a short chat with, and this had me thinking, these two would have made a great New 52 couple. Enough of my ideas though, because Skinny and the Teal Twins of Terror come back for round 2, shooting Kyle with their alien weaponry, thus allowing Voodoo to take off in some cherry ride, while they jump into a spaceship, hightailing it out of there as well, and Rayner decides to pursue them into the sky over Priscilla, except they warpole away, instantly leaving my favorite Green Lantern with nothing. As for the final page, an especially nasty human-possessing Damonite is hunting down Voodoo. Issue number 4 opens on Priscilla breaking into a government facility all secret spy espionage mode, subduing guards along the way, and stealing their access cards plus one's identity in order to gain entry to the main control room. Fallon, Blackjack, and a Chief Hurley are seen in another part of the base discussing background and history of Miss Katan. It's pretty undetermined, but pics of Tyler Evans are also reviewed, which Jessica is very ready for revenge on. Cutting to Voodoo in the control center, she seduces the tech dude working the computers to death, next going on to hack the system, obtaining info on what appears to be the Justice League. Upon exiting into the hallway though, Voodoo is spotted immediately. Guess she forgot to not get caught doing things like this, but doesn't matter because the guards are no match for her, with one seeming to be killed by projectile quills. And after flashing her Daemonite side, she destroys the generator area. An alarm was still tripped though, alerting Hurley, Jess, and Blackjack, so they haul ass outside, deducing Voodoo knew of this spot from Fallon's mind through her telepathy. However, Pris gets clever on her escape this time around, using the form of a police dog to slink away in all the people and confusion among the exterior. Over to the last page, that really evil Daemonite from the last page in the previous edition is still on the hunt, now killing teens in Breaking Bad Todd style. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Issue number 5 first has Voodoo killing a couple watch guards and then entering a huge underground facility that turns out to be a buried Daemonite spaceship. The one of which that brought her and the other hybrids to Earth, and she's there now to signal out the intel that she recently stole. However, once inside, the real bad Daemonite guy, who's called Ruin, is lying in wait to confront Priscilla, saying she cannot read his mind and says he wants to eliminate all the hybrids due to believing they're abominations. So, Pris brings out her creature form, ready for a fight. Ruin quickly loses his human flesh, giving a glimpse at what a true Daemonite looks like, and he's much stronger than Voodoo, meaning her next best course of action is trying another telepathic connection, with this time it kinda working and producing flashing images of Grifter Cole Cash and even Stormwatch. So Voodoo decides to take Grifter's form in an attempt to scare Ruin, and if you've seen my Grifter Volume 1 review, you'll know why that makes sense. Regardless, Voodoo looks like she's gonna lose this fight until, out of nowhere, she's able to bite Ruin's head clean off, thus enabling her to gain access to the place's tech room for a hard drive download. Jumping over to Fallon and Blackjack, they discuss Voodoo wiping out their investigation on her, along with how the Black Razors gave Blackjack his look plus those black energy pulse powers. But then Jess randomly seems to have a plan, with the two hopping into a jeep and heading to a top secret base that contains, oh man, the real Voodoo, who is under serious lockdown, meaning the one that we've been following is a clone, which she finds out at the same time Jessica tells Blackjack the original Priscilla knows all about the Daemonites for some reason and told the Black Razors. I wish I could say the clone plot device that we're just seeing here was only used here, but not in the New 52. Issue number 6 is a complete friggin' mess. Issue number 6 concludes this book with it being said Voodoo is in a spaceship orbiting the Earth on the opening page, but last edition the vessel was subterranean and never moved once. Anywho, she runs into a warping device that really takes her into space, more specific, a Daemonite craft wherein she tries to show a little humor, dressing up like Kyle Rayner. Weird time for that kind of behavior, that's for sure. Now for Blackjack, he's still in the Black Razor's bunker, as it's called, fighting a bunch of soldiers to try and free the true Voodoo, eventually needing Jessica's help, seen in her armor for the first time. However, these two were literally directly in front of the captured Priscilla at the end of issue number 5. So why are they assaulting the place? They were already where they needed to be. What is happening? Back to main character Voodoo, she's with Skinny and his duo of girls, saying a meeting alongside the War Council is needed, but before that, Skinny shares some info on what happened to a Daemonite named Carver in Grifter Volume 1, and then after teasing Voodoo a bit too much, he pays for it with his life, and when she shapeshifts into something called the Black Curate, the two girls back down pretty fast. As for genuine Voodoo, still under lockdown and now being experimented on, she gets freed up by Fallon and Blackjack from a scientist who was saying the Daemonites had kidnapped Miss Katan. He can't really say more though because Voodoo knocks him out before showing the experiments done to her already have given her a set of retractable wings. Meh, could have been worse. Just before the last scene, though, Blackhawk's leader Andrew Lincoln is contacted due to having Black Razor connection, and yes, I will cover his title eventually. Now, for the ending, Clone Voodoo, even though having trouble fighting with one Daemonite in Ruin minutes ago, she currently is able to slash and crunch her way through a half dozen of the more real Daemonites, with one saying the fallen one has escaped Stormwatch before dying. And this is all so Voodoo can demand her meeting with the War Council. Alright. The plot here, if I'm being honest, felt a bit constrained due to only being allowed a teen plus rating. It couldn't fully develop with the content it was going for. The style was there, but for the substance there were struggles. Voodoo and Grifter were the only Wildcats members to have New 52 series, but more of them being involved would have really helped here. The Wildcats, Black Razors, Daemonites, Black Hawks, throw in the Stormwatch team and have them all fighting for supremacy. Lots more that could have been. Sliding over into art, and oh my goodness, is it spectacular. Sleek, svelte, and submissive. The facial emotions portrayed with only 4 to 5 lines and some shading come off easily done. There were lots of good fight sequences to show the art team's range, and I think this goes without saying, the way the females are drawn in these pages are what many people strive for on a daily basis. Rounding out with dialogue, there isn't much to go on because there wasn't much here. Voodoo never spoke much besides internal speech involving the mystery of the Daemonites. Then there was Fallon, Blackjack, Skinny, and Raynor, who had good talking points when present. The struggle just came from trying to find anything uber interesting about the dialogue, and I feel like in this department, a home run was needed. That's gonna do it all for today's review though, and if you've watched until the end here, I want to personally thank you for that, and to please like, share, and subscribe. Please follow me on all my social media platforms, and to please join me next time for more DC New 52 content.